Hi, I'm Annie. I'm a person-centred walk and talk therapist. I'm a member of the British Association for Counselling and Psychotherapy, but I'm also a member of the Counselling Directory. So what is walk and talk therapy? Walk and talk therapy is where you simply take the traditional conversation of therapy and counselling from inside or on phone or on Zoom to outside. And walk and talk therapists use a variety of environments to do their walk and talk. So I know some therapists use the coastal paths if they're fortunate to live down by the coast. I know that therapists use public footpaths or communal green areas to do theirs. I'm fortunate enough here to be able to use a very rural location and I base my business from a farm location. So I have the utmost of confidentiality and beautiful views, as you can imagine. So I wanted to elaborate a bit more on what walk and talk therapy was. Walk and talk therapy is where the normal therapeutic conversation that you might have face-to-face or on Zoom or on telephone, for example, is simply transferred outside. So all the therapeutic components still remain there, but your environment is different. Clients that I work with in walk and talk therapy often approach me because they start by saying, I love the outdoors. It suits people that like the outdoors. Or similarly, if people don't often get a chance to be outdoors. So for office jobs or jobs that are driving a lot, the ability to actually spend a whole session walking and in the fresh air and all the benefits that gives all of us, such as mood enhancing, it gets endorphins, it increases your fitness and your heart rate, but at the same time you're able to have the same conversations that you would have inside, is a real bonus for a lot of people. It adds a new dynamism. It's a dynamic experience where it's mobile, it's physical, and I also encourage the thought that as counsellor and client are working together, we are always at the same point. So there is an equal unified moving forward in the conversations that we have. There are a lot of benefits of walk and talk therapy and by moving the conversation from inside to outside. So for example, clients that may feel very anxious or claustrophobic in an inside area, walk and talk is so suitable for avoiding those eye contact moments that can be quite uncomfortable. And also being outdoors and having that conversation as our mind and our body is moving, they are intrinsically linked. And that allows our thoughts to come a little freer than if we were sitting inside. So for people who maybe feel stuck, taking therapy in a walking environment starts to loosen up and starts to lose that sense of maybe I am stuck because I'm physically moving forward and therefore my mind can start to think about a future rather than being stuck in the present. And another element to walk and talk therapy, just to make you aware of, is the variety of options. And what I mean by that is clients might come one week and really feel the need to experience stillness. And with that, we could walk to a wooded area or a clearing and we can just sit because the experience that they've had that day or that week has been so chaotic or very heightened, and just experiencing that still in nature is incredibly therapeutic at that time. But equally, the same client might come the following week and say, I feel pent up and I need to express and I need space and I need to have a good stomp around the fields and I need to let go of what I'm carrying. So you have that choice with walk and talk to go at a pace that suits you throughout the conversation. And moving on to questions that always come to me about walk and talk therapy, and that is, what about the weather? So what would we do if the weather was inclement or raining or very, very cold, for example? And my response is always that I'm led by the client. So I am happy to walk in whatever weather conditions. Having the right waterproofs, the right boots, wellies, etc. Is all very, very important, obviously. But please do not worry that would stop if that is something that you are not deterred by. Some clients come very prepared, and they look at the forecast in advance and they bring all the appropriate clothing, and that is absolutely fine. But equally, if it's, for example, not suitable, it can even be too hot on the very few occasions, at which point I can hold walk and talk sessions in the cabin that I'm sitting in now, where all three sides of the cabin are open and glass. So it feels as though we are on the outside, even though we're on the inside. So that's the weather side of things. That would be led by your particular therapist, but for me it's very flexible. Along with the question about weather, the second most popular question I get asked about walk and talk therapy is about fitness levels. So some clients may perceive that they need to be extremely fit and we walk for hours at a very fast pace, and that simply isn't the case. Walk and talk is about sharing the experience of being outside at whatever pace the client wants it to be. And yes, there are clients who enjoy walking, they walk as part of their hobby, so that does cover some space. However, for clients that are trying to work up their fitness level, that's equally okay, and we can walk for short distances. We can do a short walk to a sitting place, or we can just sit outside in the open and not walk at all. We can still experience the benefits of sitting outside with no boundaries and no walls around us. My final point to help understand walk and talk therapy is what a session might look like. And how I would explain that is that a walk and talk therapist would meet their client at the same point. They would conduct the session through a walk, but they would also finish at exactly the same point, a bit like a bookends if you like. And that process helps to ground the client as the session draws to a close, and we finish in the same place that we started. All ethical and confidential boundaries remain in place, as they would if the session was not walk and talk, but that's something your therapist would talk through you before the session. So if you think you're ready to connect to a counsellor, or maybe think that walk and talk might be suitable for you, you can contact me on my website www.ac-therapy.co.uk, or alternatively contact other qualified walk and talk therapists on the Counselling Directory.